Hi everyone, it's Karen here and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a brand new tutorial where I altered a wooden guitar using lots of metal embellishments, and I altered it using Prima Finnabair Art Alchemy waxes. This is a small wooden guitar that I bought in an artisan market on one of my recent trips. And it's not a real guitar, it's more like a toy guitar, although it does make sound, and it's small enough that you can alter and not ruin it. All the products and links are listed below in the description area. So here's the guitar. I wanted to show you all the pieces that I put in it. The glue is still a little bit wet and you can see it's a little bit shiny, but that doesn't matter because I am going to cover this with the black gesso. But I just wanted to show you what I'm doing and what type of pieces I put on it, because I just wanted to embellish it, not on screen, and glue everything because I wanted to kind of think about the composition, and it's hard to do that when you're doing a video. So in the center here, above the hole of the guitar, I put one of these vintage trinkets from Prima Finnabair. It's that Roman clock. And then I put a metal piece right here, and the same one I put over here so they kind of match together. I have a heart on top of that, and then I put these like mechanical little knobs. I put them right here. I had these little wooden pieces. I haven't even painted the back as well. As you can see, it's all, I have to paint it in black, but I just wanted to get the pieces on. This little piece that I already painted in black is actually going to go inside there, and it has a little music note on it. But I'm waiting to actually paint it outside of it and then stick it in because it's really hard to paint in there. I also have this piece that will go at the end over here if it matches, like it says believe on it, and I will probably put it in at the end, but I don't want to put it on yet because I don't want to cover it in black. Other than that, I have the wings over here. These are the mechanical wings with a little music notes. These music note set, which I have the treble and the few music notes that you see over here. There's one inside this mechanical butterfly. Those I got, I think, from Michael's. They were one of those like dollars metal sets, and that's what I did with it. I have some other mechanicals here, some gears, some lotus flowers, some regular flowers, a heart. I have some other gears over here, some flowers. So basically you can see, I can show you like from close up that it's a lot of different mechanical pieces. I have some metal leaves here from Prima as well, and I put some knobs inside the flowers. So basically just simply decorate it and glue it. You could use any metal pieces for this and that would be just fine. What I wanted to do is, while this is still wet, I actually wanted to have it dry overnight, but to do that I need to let it sit for a while. But I wanted to kind of combine it with this, which is the white Crackle Paste. It's the only Crackle Paste I have. I know it's white, but it doesn't really matter. What I wanted to do is I wanted to add it to certain areas to get crackle on the background. And this also takes about 24 hours to dry, or at least a few hours to dry. So I figured I could get this done as well as having having the metals dry as well. So I'm going to add this in certain areas carefully, just to make sure that I don't mess up. And I just know it's going to be white, but it doesn't really matter because I'm going to color everything in black. So this paste will look really cool, and it will have this like really nice crackle to it. So that's what I want. I want to create that crackle effect on the guitar to make it look kind of antique. So I figured that Crackle Paste would be the perfect thing. And I'm also going to add it onto the sides, I'll see. I'm not sure if when I'm going to do the back, I might, but that will take even longer because I would have to let it dry. I would have to let one side dry and then the other. Now I could have added this paste. Sorry, I'm off screen. I could have added this paste before I added all the embellishments, but I didn't really want to waste it. I wanted to make sure that I only use it wherever I can and not waste it. And it doesn't really have to have this everywhere. You can just like have a little bit of crackle here and there, and don't put it too thick because I mean, you're gonna get big crackles if you put it thick, but if you want those smaller type crackles, then it's better to put it thin. So I'm gonna probably take a small paintbrush soon and just kind of add it in certain areas where I can't reach. I have to kind of turn this around a little bit, just because I'm right-handed, it's easier for me to do it this way. And I want to add it to the sides here. So even though it will be black afterwards, I'm putting the white crackle, and I'm not going to do that everywhere. I think I'm going to kind of paste it and do some places crackle and some not, because it will look better. It will look more realistic. I really am excited to see how this turns out. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this turned out, because I've been wanting, I had this dream of doing this for a while, and I just couldn't figure out a place to find a guitar or an instrument that would be small enough to alter. So I knew that when you go away to places like Mexico, or when you go away to certain, like, you know, islands, they tend to have these. So that's why I ended up buying this one. Actually, it is a funny story, because I actually bought one guitar, you know, when I went to Punta Cana, not recently, in this winter. And then I got home thinking, great, I'm going to alter it. And then my daughter saw it and she said, oh, I want this guitar, can I have it please? So I said, of course, how am I not gonna give her? I brought, even though I brought her tons of souvenirs, she wanted that guitar badly. So I said that's fine, she could have it. So I ended up giving her the guitar, and then wanting to still alter one. So the next time I went teaching, when I went to teach in Colombia recently, I went to another market, and I saw another guitar, and I thought, okay, good, now my daughter has one, so I can definitely buy one so I can alter for myself. And that was really cool, because I really was excited to do it. And I don't know if you saw recently, my friend Ola, she actually altered a violin, and when I saw hers, I thought to myself, oh my god, like, she had the same idea, like, just to alter some kind of instrument. And I thought, you know what, hers turned out so beautiful. So it really got me excited, knowing that I had that idea, and that it's just so cool to just do something like an instrument. I love doing altered pieces, and this was perfect for that. So I'm just going to add a little bit more here and there. Doesn't have to be everywhere. And I think I'm going to add as well, hold on, let me move this. This Crackle Paste is really nice consistency. And I'm going to add a little bit here in these. I have to be very careful here with the, and I mean, obviously this guitar is not going to be used, so that's okay. It's just for kind of a display and decoration, and I can't wait to like display it in my room. So I'm really excited about that. I can't wait to see how this turns out. So there we go. So I'm going to let this dry overnight. I'm going to wait until it dries up completely, so that way I can add more things to it and basically start coloring it. I really hate wasting time on gluing, showing how to glue things, and this was a perfect way to just show you that you can just glue things in advance and then just show you how it looks. Okay, so the texture paste, the Crackle Paste, is finally dried, and you can really see the cool crackles everywhere. So I'm really excited to wait until I see how it turns out on the actual when I add the colors and stuff. But now I have to cover everything with black gesso, so I'm going to use the black gesso first, and I'm going to cover everything, and I mean everything. The reason why I'm doing that is because you really need to have it all primed the same way, everything the same way, because these are made from different materials. You see here there's white, but there's also metal, and there is different types of metals, and you want to kind of even out the field. So that's a good way of doing it, by adding the gesso. And all you have to do is just add a coat everywhere. So I'm going to grab a couple of paint brushes from here, and I'm going to basically start painting. And it's just almost painting. That's all it is. And getting in there in between the embellishments. When everything is dry, it's much easier to paint everything. This is why I wanted to wait until everything is dry. And then I can just quickly go in, do all the texture that I have to do, and that's it, and leave it like that. And I want to make sure that it's not such a thick coat. I want to make sure that I get the texture of the color that I'm going to put. I want that nice crackle texture to come out. So I'm just going to paint this. I also have to paint the back because I ended up adding texture to the back as well. So I want to make sure that I paint everything. If you pat it like this, you can get into the nooks and crannies in between the embellishments. There's lots of little holes and places. So the brush just needs to be kind of tapped, and then you can get in between there. And you can also grab smaller brushes if you need to as well. So it's a combination of all things. Okay, now it's time to color in, and I wanted to use the waxes instead of paints. I usually go for paints when I want to paint on black with metallics, but I figured that I wanted to try something new. I always tend to use waxes as an accent, but this time I want to use it to actually paint the whole guitar with them. So, well, not paint, add blue to the whole guitar. So we're going to see how this goes. I only picked two colors. I picked the Amethyst Magic, and I also picked the Mystic Turquoise. And look how beautiful it already looks. So I'm going to open both of these and just go back and forth between the colors. I might even use two brushes at the beginning. I tend to forget then, and then I end up mixing them. So this is they're really easy to apply, and you can blend them together for a nicer look. I just want to be careful with the strings over here. And this is the fun part. It's always, for me, the most fun part, to add color. That's what I love doing the most. So unfortunately, I made the mistake of adding too thick of a gesso layer, which means that it covered a lot of the really nice crackle that I had done, which is really unfortunate. I'm sad about that because I really wanted that crackle to show through. I mean, by using the waxes as color and not as highlights, it really makes a difference in terms of how much you want to apply. So usually I apply very little, only on the surface, but because I want to basically color everything, I'm applying it much more abundant, a little bit more than usual, which is what I'm trying to do, because I'm coloring the background. So this is basically going to be the shadow of the guitar. The nice things, of course, about these waxes is that they're permanent and they're really easy to just apply everywhere. The brushes I'm using are stipple brushes. They're blending brushes, so again, really easy. These are Prima Finnabair brushes. Really easy to just use. I'm going to do the back. They have a lot of pigment, so it's really easy to just apply quickly and cover a lot of area. Now I'm going to use a smaller brush to just get in between here. The nice thing about these waxes is that they're permanent and they're non-toxic. Once they're dry, they're dry. And What's nice about it is that they dry permanently and you don't need to actually put anything on top because they just dry automatically. You can obviously heat set them if you want to go faster, but you can let it dry, air dry I meant to say. So they also, I'm going to paint this one inside. Because this has to go inside after when I glue it. So I want to make sure that it matches. There we go. So this is the two colors that I used for the guitar, and now I'm going to add the accent pieces, which is the accent colors, which is the golden colors. Okay, for adding some accents, I took out the vintage gold. I love gold accents on things. I mean, you could use silver if you really want to, but I just really love gold accents. So just looks beautiful. You lightly touch them and look how beautiful that is. So this is my favorite color. I've used this one a lot, as you can see, and I've had this one for almost 3 years and I still have so much of it. So they do last a long time. You could also go ahead and use the brush if you really want to. If you don't want to get your hands dirty, you could use the brush as well. I love using my finger. It gives a different effect. You see, that's the brush effect, and when you use your finger you can really control and put much more and really get in the nooks and crannies. While I was letting things dry before, I had to go pick up my daughter from school, but I also went and got my nails done, so you can see a difference right now. I got them done. I have an event, so I needed to have them done for that, but that's why they look so pretty. I'm trying to be careful not to ruin them as well. So wherever my finger can reach, I use it. I can use it as much as I can, and the rest I just basically use the brush. So for example, here I can't reach this, so I want to use the brush for that. And the nice thing about these brushes is that you can use them and you can change colors between them, and it's not a big deal because it's a dry brush and this is wax. It doesn't really matter. And they have different sizes of these brushes, so you could get the different sizes if you want. I'm gonna use my finger for the clock. I want to kind of keep that shadow underneath as much as I can. I also want to put some gold on the strings only. I think that will make it look really pretty. So just the strings and nothing else. Trying to get just the strings. The wings, of course, need a lot of gold, and even these knobs, they need gold as well as right here. Now, how to get in there? Oh, I also want to get some gold on here because this is going to be stuck in the center, but you really need to kind of see it. So it's nice to put some of this here, and I'm going to try to just put it on the treble itself. The other place I need gold is in this believe. I want to make sure it's gold underneath, so I'm actually going to add gold behind it. And what it does is kind of gives it a golden tone. You could actually put gold paint as well. That might work as well. But I really put it golden here, so when I stick it there, you can really see it. Okay, now I want to be careful with this area here. First of all, I want to go around the guitar and kind of define it so it really brings out that form. And I'm going to do the same thing in the back. Then I'm going to get a small paintbrush to just kind of go in between the embellishments here that I can't get with my finger. Really cool. I love the effect of the waxes. Huge difference in how things look. Okay, now I'm going to use this paintbrush to kind of do the highlights on top of this area where I can barely get to. So you could do, as I said, the whole thing with a paintbrush, or you could use your finger or the stipple brushes or basically anything, and it will work perfectly. You can also like warm up the wax a little bit by heating it. Like you could go and use a little bit of heat, and what it does, it kind of melts it a little bit and really gives, it's really easy then to just get your fingers in there or get your brush in there, and it makes a big difference in how it looks. It becomes softer, if you know what I mean. Because it's wax, it becomes softer. So when Ola did her violin, which really inspired me in terms of the colors, so I did similar colors to what she did and maybe similar techniques. I never watched her, I don't know if she had a video on that, but I'm sure it's similar because we work for the same, we design with the same products. But she inspired me to like finally get my guitar going, because it took me so long to get it, and I just really wanted to just have that done, and I really love how it turned out. I think, you know, like we tend to kind of get inspired from people, and there's so many inspirational people out there. So if you do get inspired by somebody, mention it to them. It's really important. So many people get upset when you don't do that, but I'm okay if you don't mention me, but I do love it if you do, because that really makes me feel that something I made really inspired you, and that's a huge thing for me. Now I'm going to turn it around, and I want to just create the same effect in the background, just to put around and kind of frame the guitar. So I'm just lightly rubbing it so I don't get finger marks. And you can, as I said, heat set it. It almost looks like wooden, like wood, the way I applied it. That's just totally coincidence. But I guess there's no coincidence in this world. So let's just say I meant to do that. So here it is, the background. Let's highlight the edges a bit more. When I say this is my favorite color, it really is. I love this one so much. And of course I'm listing everything below, like you know. And I want to just kind of highlight these a little bit. They're kind of getting lost a little bit. Nobody's gonna see the back anyways, but if ever somebody picks it up, it'll be nice to just have that, you know, extra little details done here as well, because it's going to be hanging on a wall. For me at least, it's going to be hanging on a wall. And I think I want to do the sides as well, like this here. I think it's important to kind of define them just a little bit. Maybe I should do it with the paintbrush. It might be easier that way. Okay, and I'm going to do the other side as well. Just want to make sure nothing moved inside, and just the bottom part as well. There we go, and there is my guitar. So thank you so much for watching today. I just want to show you a little close-up of everything. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends on social media. Please, it's really important when you share. I really appreciate everybody for coming and visiting me today. And please subscribe to my channel. I also have a link to my website at the end, and a link to other videos that I've created for some altered art. So thank you so much, and have an amazing day. Bye.